Now, a key part of Mr. Obama's Cairo speech was his stress on the freedom of religion and his specific mention of Muslim women. Here's some of what he said.
Freedom of religion is central to the ability of peoples to live together. We must always examine the ways in which we protect it. For instance, in the United States, rules on charitable giving have made it harder for Muslims to fulfill their religious obligation. That's why I'm committed to working with American Muslims to ensure that they can fulfill zakat. Likewise, it is important for Western countries to avoid impeding Muslim citizens from practicing religion as they see fit. For instance, by dictating what clothes a Muslim woman should wear. We can't disguise hostility towards any religion behind the pretense of liberalism. The view of some in the West that a woman who chooses to cover her hair is somehow less equal. But I do believe that a woman who is denied an education is denied equality. And it is no coincidence that countries where women are well educated are far more likely to be prosperous. Now, let me be clear. Issues of women's equality are by no means simply an issue for Islam. In Turkey, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Indonesia, we've seen Muslim-majority countries elect a woman to lead. Meanwhile, the struggle for women's equality continues in many aspects of American life and in countries around the world.
Joining us now to offer her perspective is Shukriya Dini, an academic researcher on gender issues, especially involving women in Puntland and Somaliland. Welcome, Shukriya.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Now, the president did talk about quite a number of things, as you've seen, you've listened. Equality, the question of education for Muslim women, the question of culture and traditions. What is your reaction to his message?
Actually, as a Muslim woman, I found the president's speech was really important. He emphasized a lot of important things to us, especially, I think he talked about how that the world needs to see Islam with the new lenses, that we need to debunk the old lenses, how we used to depict Islam as a religion that oppresses women, not progressive. He talked about how Islam and the Muslims have contributed to the world civilization in math, science, and everything, because often we don't hear that. He also touched on the importance of choice and the agency in Muslim women in choosing whether to wear hijab or not to wear hijab. And also he talked about the challenges facing Muslim women in the Western countries, let alone in the Muslim societies. For example, when he says that Western countries should not hinder the rights of Muslim citizens from practicing their religion as they see fit. And I think we know that which countries he's really implying. We're talking about so many challenges that Muslim women face. Countries like France that has prohibited young women, Muslim women, to wear the hijab. And he says that we cannot disguise hostility towards any religion behind the pretense of liberalism. That
Let me ask you just a brief question in terms of specifically aiming at empowering Muslim women. President Obama says he wants to partner with any Muslim-majority country that will help him or enable him to fund efforts to expand literacy for women. Do you foresee any resistance on that front from any country?
No, not at all. And I don't think there will never be any resistance. I think the Muslim world welcomes that. And to make it clear, Islam as a religion really emphasizes on knowledge, which it's called ilmi, and that it is the duty of men and women to seek and to obtain education in their lifetime. And I think it is a paramount that the President of the United States is now emphasizing women's education in the Muslim world and promising that America will be part of that efforts to promote women's education and empowerment.
Let me hold you there, Shukriya. Let's briefly just listen in to more reactions before we come back to you. Let's play this tape.
I was very proud because we are the future, and I feel responsible about the future of all the world. and I hope that what he say in that speech يعني will be true, يعني not just talking, will be actions, and I hope the peace will be all over the world.
He said that just we've got to use wisdom instead of power, but I don't know, I was not satisfied with it because it's just words.
Why?
It's just words, but it's not easy to fix all of that destruction, fix it all alone just with wisdom or young people. Okay, we hold a huge responsibility, but we're not able to fix that alone.
I think the speech hadn't got anything new. It just was so balanced, so neutral. He just stressed about the part of the cooperation between Muslims and West, and I think this was so great, regardless the Palestinian-Israeli issue. I think that his strength that there should be a solution with two states was a great solution for this, because really we need to live in peace.
But did you hear something new?
No, nothing new, except the stress about the cooperation part. Only this, but nothing new. All of this has been mentioned, nothing new at all.
Yeah, and especially for women, Muslim women in Egypt. And this is the best part that I did like it in the speech. I felt like he talking to me. This is not for all the Egyptians, no, but personally. It's like someone talking to you, advising you, and this was awesome.
Well, now, different people, different reactions, but now, Shukriya, there are some who are saying, well, the president didn't say anything new. We've had this before. From your point of view, did he say something new?
I think what he said was not new, but also was really crucial for a president, a new change that took place in the United States. This president, in fact, rebringing the issue of gender in the middle and how paramount it is to the to development, to human rights, to peace in that part of the world. And I think it is essential. It might not be a new thing, but it is important.
Now, Shukriya, you study women gender issues. The problem of women empowerment is a challenge in a lot of countries, not just Muslim countries. What do you say is standing in the way of women's progress around the world?
That is a good question. There are lots of factors and barriers that really oppose women to live in their own potentials. For example, the issue of culture. Religion is also used to deny women access to opportunities. Political structure or institutions in these countries also hinder women's rights and advancement. Economic is another aspect, because we know that the Muslim countries, in fact, happen to be some of the poorest countries in the world.
Yeah. Let me ask you briefly, quickly, would you say there's also the challenge of the individual countries' cultures and traditions, other than just their religion as an aspect?
Can you say it again?
Individual countries facing particular traditional issues.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the Muslim world, it's not a homogeneous, it's a diverse with various histories and cultures and history. And there are cultural practices in every country that, that are threatening women's rights. And for example, it could be female genital mutilation, early marriages, and not providing opportunities to young girls.
Very well put. Thank you very much,
Thank you so much. It was
Dini.
wonderful to have you here.